So we talked about it last night, and I rewatched the trailer multiple times at this point. As I said last night, and I'll say it again now, let's pivot over. Let's talk about Black Panther trailer, Wakanda. First off, let me play y'all a little clip here.
Everything of this is obviously, I know you guys talked about it.
So this is just
it was 5 years.
Danai Gurira talking about just kind of how she feels and kind of the process and the grief and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and play that.
Years ago that you were here with the first footage with Chadwick, we got a chance to see that beautiful mural in the footage. Obviously, it is this whole everything of this is a tribute to him. What did it mean to kind of have this moment all together to pay tribute, both with you all as a cast and also with the fans?
I mean, it was very it was everything really. I mean, we didn't know when and how it was going to hit us. You know, it hit us various ways in various moments. Sometimes about just walking onto the stage and hearing Ryan talk. Before that, we were getting hit, like watching it, like leaving. And there are various moments where you're just being hit by that. And I think it was beautifully said by Dominic and by Michaela that they really were support for us. There was a very hard day I had on set. And she was there for me. And, you know, you just never knew when it was just going to be a really hard day. And so they were really amazing, our new family. They understood they were in a place where grief was happening. And they really, really, they held us up. So we got great new family.
You know, man, it's such a interesting situation at hand, because I'm gonna be 100% honest with you all right now as far as just how I feel about this whole situation. 100% behind. And shout out to E-Man Movie Reviews. I got a little bit of his stream last night. He was on live for like 3 hours, man, and just doing his damn thing. Check him out. He started a petition, probably 18 months ago with the whole hashtag recast T'Challa. I know a lot of people think when you say that, they're just thinking like, whoa, pump the brakes. The man just passed away. You want to just forget him for, so it's a lot of misunderstood what the message really stands behind. It doesn't take anything away from Shuri and representing the wonderful, powerful, beautiful, amazing Black women within this world. Doesn't take anything away from them. What E-Man is pretty much saying, and at least how I take what E-Man's message is. And of course, you can watch his channel, watch his streams, sign a petition, learn up on it. But the way I interpreted it as T'Challa, is, man, the character T'Challa is so big in nature and the narrative and the story and the message and seeing a Black man in a position of power that he's in. There's just so much more in that character that to kill him off, which again, the whole thing is, Namor has come out, and this is one of the executive producers, one of the head honchos in Marvel, came out about 1.5 years ago, interviewed and talked about the process.
That you see T'Challa in I'm not hedging my bets. I'm being quite honest. T'Challa you will not see T'Challa in the MCU. We couldn't do it. I mean, I will say when Chad passed, it was a real conversation we had with Coogler about what do we do, and it was a fast conversation. It wasn't weeks; it was minutes of we have to figure out how to move this franchise on without that character, because I think
when they got the news that Chadwick Boseman passed away, not months, not weeks, not years, but immediately they had a conversation with Ryan Coogler. And Ryan Coogler himself said that we are not recasting T'Challa. Listen, we have all, or maybe we haven't, but I can just speak for myself. I have dealt with a really big death in my life. And I know when it comes to decision makings and the process of losing someone and just the whole thing around it of just grief, it's a lot's going on in your head, right? For me, and this is no disrespect to Ryan Coogler, because I'm going to talk about him here in a second. I don't think that decision should be had on one individual. I know he's the director. He wrote the film. This is a passion project. He brought so much love and so much to Black Panther in 2018. And it's a film that I hold near and dear to my heart. As millions of people around the world, people that look like me, Black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian, men, women, children, everyone around the world, it was one of those impactful films. I know the film for some people is like, oh, Black Panther was a good, to each their own. It's excellent film to me. That pressure that Nate Moore and Kevin Feige just to put on one person to me is kind of crazy to me, if I'm being honest with you all. But either way, they're not recasting T'Challa. That's so, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. That is their decision that they're standing on today. This is a business at the end of the day, you know, and this is an understanding that we lost a once in a lifetime type of individual. I've never met Chadwick Boseman, but I'm just referring to just seeing him on social media, the way he presents himself, the stuff he's said, the stuff he's done. He carries himself with he's one of those people where you don't even have to meet him to understand the impact that that person has on you, even through a TV screen. He was that type of individual. I understand how his role and how his performance was so impactful to the world, and you would think that there's no way that we can replace this man. But then we have to remember, as harsh as it may sound, it's a fictional character within a fictional world, based upon fictional things, right? It's just so much more to be had with a black man being a ruler of of Wakanda, the responsibilities, because we haven't even seen what a world, what a Wakanda ruled King T'Challa looks like. We haven't gotten those opportunities. We haven't seen the toss and turn of fighting alongside with the Avengers while keeping a country at bay with invaders and all the different stuff there. It's just so much to be had with the character, man. And again, it doesn't take away from Shuri, maybe later down the road, Black Panther 3 taking on the mantle. It doesn't take anything away from, you know, all the different narratives and storylines that we have within the Black Panther world. It's just so much to be had. And just to say no more T'Challa in the MCU is just a mistake, in my opinion, in my personal opinion. So with all that being said, I'm not going to lie. It's a good trailer. It looks... I mean, the visuals alone, then that leaves you in awe. You have some screenshots again, just to kind of just to highlight some of the things that just really stood out to me, man. I mean, we talked about Eternals. Coop, if you're still there, one of the things I love about Eternals, and I told you how much I appreciate good production. This looks like they're on location. We joked around about the visual effects team about everything in Marvel so visually effects heavy. Everything's on a green screen. Everything's on the sound stage. Everything's in the volume that they're using now, and that they're overusing, in my opinion. This is clearly someone on an island, on a beach, with natural lighting. And there's even that shot of Shuri showcasing again that they're on a location. They built these sets. These are like, I just feel like I'm not an actor, but I just feel like if I was an actor, I would want to touch things, feel things, and be ingrained and be in that world. And again, that's part of acting is fantasy. Pretend that there's a tree talking to you, right? Pretend there's a raccoon that you're looking at. Pretend you're fighting against Thanos. I get that. That's part of the acting. But I think when you have tangible things to grab on, you can actually give you a more nuanced performance. So again, from a production standpoint, it looked gorgeous. The moment in the trailer, the great Angela Bassett, the Queen of Wakanda, she says a line where she's like talking, and it was kind of cut in between of her talking to what I assume was like the United Nations, and then her talking to her in the throne room, when she's like, "I've lost my family, you know, I've lost everyone, and you've taken everything from me." I think this is like probably Namor she's talking to. But that quote that she says hit me on a. This is acting, right? This is how you act. This is why you hire an Angela Bassett, a Lupita Nyong'o, a Wilson Duke, you know, Forrest Whitaker in the first one, Michael B. Jordan, and obviously the late great Chadwick Boseman. This is why you hire these people to deliver these lines to hit you like a bag of bricks. And that line there gives me chills when I rewatched it. I mean, there's quotes in there that was great. It looks good. We talked about scores. The Bob Marley intertwined with Kendrick Lamar, which I hope they do bring back Kendrick Lamar to do the soundtrack for the second one, because the first soundtrack was fire. The weaving into that again, and I go back, I'm just on a rant now. I love a good trailer because it not only gives you what you want to see, right? You want to know what the film's about. What's the tone? What's the narrative? What's the characters? What are we looking at? but it's a story within itself. And a good trailer sets the mood, sets the tone, gives you an idea of what you're getting into. And as far as, again, taking away my whole recast of T'Challa for a quick second, as far as just looking at it as a piece of art, it's a fantastic trailer. And then as far as like the story shows, again, this is where the issue comes about. We see Shuri mourning, and I assume that's maybe Okoye that she's being, or maybe not, a little darker skin than Angela. I think that's Okoye, or maybe Nakia. Obviously, and as you all can see on the screen now, the synopsis is out there. The Queen, Shuri, M'Baku, Okoye, Dora Milaje fight to protect their nation in the wake of King T'Challa's death and forge a new path for the kingdom of Wakanda. So obviously, they're integrating a real world, obviously sad, tragic, thoughts and prayers go out to the family, a real world situation, and implement it in a fictional story. I've been around the block. You know, I've seen my fair share of films. I love film. I don't know if it's just throwing me off that they're doing this, because I can't think, and let me know in the chat, a movie. And now, of course, we've lost, unfortunately, hundreds, if not thousands of actors due to, you know, normal circumstances, tragedies, murders that, you know, affected projects, right? And they had to either recast characters or, you know, write them out of the story. I can't think of a show or a movie that I've ever seen in which someone so pivotal as a lead actor of a project of this stature, of this magnitude, passes away, and then the creators use that to put it in the story. I just can't think of anything like that ever. And it might be out there. You guys can let me know in the chat. And the reason I bring that up, and it's funny, well, it's not funny, but it's interesting. If you guys saw, there's a little film called Nope that's in theaters now. Check out my review, and we did a 2-hour live discussion breaking it all down. Without giving too much away, because I know a lot of people haven't seen Nope, but there's a particular allegory, a theme, a metaphor in regards to people monetizing trauma and exploiting trauma. It's one of many different themes within Nope. Good film. Go check it out in IMAX if you have the opportunity. And I say this to say this. I personally think, and I don't know any of these people, would love to meet them one day. I don't know Ryan Coogler. I don't know Lupita Nyong'o. I don't know Wilson Duke. I don't know Letitia Wright. I don't know Angela Bassett. I don't know Nate Moore, Kevin Feige. I don't know any of these people making these big decisions. I am a person that likes to look into the good of people. And I don't think Ryan Coogler, and I'll just single it out to him because he was the one that made the decision. I don't think Ryan Coogler would monetize Chadwick Boseman's death. In all my hearts and deep down inside of me, I don't think that he would want to do that. I think that he would be man enough, kind enough, human enough, morally speaking enough. He would not want to be a part of a project that would monetize off of this man's death. And that goes for everyone in the entire cast. Because we can clearly see when they're being interviewed, when they're saying quotes, this process of making this film was probably the most difficult thing they've ever done in their entire careers. Reasonably so, because they lost such an incredible individual from all accounts. But then the back of my mind is like, at the end of the day, it is a business ran by the biggest company in the world, which is Disney. No doubt in that. The mouse is a mobster. He runs it all. You give him his 5% off top. He's a mobster, man. Don't let that 2 ears and smile and, you know, Goofy and all them fool you. It's a business. When I see the trailer and I see moments in the trailer, such as obviously, you know, Shuri mourning her brother, it was a moment that really affected me because, again, we've lost Chadwick Boseman. I'm still affected by that. I haven't even watched Black Panther since he passed away. It's just hard for me to watch it. And when you see the mural, again, put it in the real world life circumstances and put it in the movie, it don't sit well with me, man. And again, decisions can be changed We've seen crazier business decisions change on a dime, on a much lesser scale because there's no one passing away involved. But I think of Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios. When Spider-Man's contract was up, Sony was on their soapbox. We are not going to re-up our deal. Marvel's like, good, forget you. We do our own thing. But what happened? Tom Holland came crying to Bob Iger, please, Bob, don't let this happen. I want to make more movies with y'all. The fans, the outcry. Don't do this, Sony. Don't do this, please. We all remember The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And a decision that was made was ultimately undone, and we have Spider-Man 3 and maybe on and on. Again, I think of it, again, much lesser circumstance. I'm just thinking of a business decision that was made. Business decision-wise, there was a time and point in the comic book world where we never in a million years thought that we would see X-Men, Avengers, Fantastic Four under one umbrella, because Fox was doing their thing and it never was going to happen. And Fox will never sell the rights to Disney to have those characters done. Now, obviously, Fox bankrupt, money got involved, and lo and behold, Fantastic Four and eventually X-Men. So what I'm getting at is business decisions such as emotional decisions, getting involved in business decisions, a la Ryan Coogler saying immediately, we're not going to recast T'Challa. I think that decision could potentially change, and I hope it changes because, again, doesn't take anything away from Shuri, but it's just so much more to be had to see T'Challa, a black man in that position of a Black Panther, a king, and all the stories that he has within, 50, 60 years worth of storytelling to just end that. And again, I know creatively speaking, we can give his story to Shuri, his story to, word out there that it might be a son of T'Challa out there. We can give his story to another character. I don't want that. I don't want that. That would be... Again, I know the people out there that don't want it to be recasted. Would you want to see Peter Parker's story be given to Ned? Would you want to see, Superman Kal-El's story be given to Lois Lane? Would you want to see Batman's origins go to, I don't know, Batman has some Alfred? I'm just throwing out random names at this point. And I'm not saying that Shuri and Okoye and all them are random characters. I'm just saying as far as the story, I don't feel like you can just give someone such richness of story to some other character within the MCU just because of a decision that played a big part of that was emotions, right? So, again, it is in phase 4. Again, the trailer looked good. We got the shot of someone in the Black Panther suit. People are speculating that is Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. I don't think so. It is his suit, replica of his suit. I personally think, this is my 2 cents of the matter, I think it's Shuri. And we know there will be a Black Panther by the end of this film. You can't have a film called Black Panther without a Black Panther, right? Just don't make sense. But come 2 years, 3 years from now, which we will get a Black Panther 3, I think. And of course, we talked about it earlier. We're going to get a TV series around Wakanda. I think there is still an opportunity for a decision to be made to recast the character. And I hope that happens. I really do. I really, really do. Man, November 11th, man, it's going to be a tough day, man. It's going to be a tough day. It's going to be an exciting day. Don't get me wrong. Because I love Black excellence. And I love just, again, seeing these amazing, talented individuals. Again, Angela Bassett, Lupita Nyong'o, a Wilson Duke, and just that amazing. And I didn't even bring up Namor. Namor looks pretty cool. I mean, he was doing a lot of, standing and posing. He wasn't really doing any action. But sometimes the less, the better. He gave me some type of nuance within his eyes, within his subtlety, within the shots walking from behind when he was born, when he's a young kid, and there's like I think that's his house being burned down from whatever wars he has going on. He has his own story. He's a king, right? We're going to see his narrative as a king. We're going to see him leading his people that we don't get the opportunity to see with Black Panther. But Namor looks great, man. And they gonna really, if we are playing into this narrative that Shuri's gonna be the next Black Panther and Shuri versus Namor, if that is the final act, the third act, and not killing him, but maybe, you know, beating him. Oh my God, y'all gonna have, and this is no disrespect to Shuri, but y'all gonna really have to sell me in this film that to make me believe that same kid, and I say kid because she was a kid in Black Panther 2018. She was probably like 14, 15 years old. Again, I know the actress isn't a kid, but in that narrative, she's a teenager. She's a kid. I mean, she's a kid. You're going to have to sell me on that. Not saying Letitia Wright can't do it, but you're going to have to really sell me on that idea by the end of the film that she can take on Namor. And there's rumors about Michael B. Jordan, her training her in the ancestral plane. You know, we'll see what comes of all that. The theory that Dr. Doom is behind it all. He's the one that's the puppet master that's getting the Namor versus the Wakandans. And there's another rumor out there, or theory, I should say. If we're going to play into this narrative, being, I guess, devil's advocate, if we're going to play in this narrative that we're killing T'Challa, are they going to display that? Which I don't want to see him die, man. Because again, I'm just thinking of this Marvel cinematically speaking. He's died in his own film. He came back. He died in Infinity War. He came back. He died in much smaller scale, but he died in What If. He died in his episode. The what if what was it? What if Tony Stark met Killmonger or something like that? I don't want to see him die again, man. I just really don't. If I'm being honest with you all. Are going to play into the idea that the real life actor died. Are you going to say that he died of cancer? Are you going to say that he died in a flood with T'Challa, or the war with the Atlanteans? Like it's it's just so much, man. And again, I look at the best in people, and I think that Ryan Coogler, who hasn't failed in my eyes, he's 3 for 3. He is 3 for 3. The man is that man is on the path of greatness, editorial sensibilities and his writing sensibilities, and he's one of us, man. I mean, you see the brother. He's from Oakland. I mean, he could have been from anywhere, but he's from Oakland, man, and he just when he talks, when he speaks. And I love the story when he was on stage talking about, you know, he feels Chadwick's hand on his shoulders. I have a lot of, I just want to see the good in people, man. I just feel like Ryan Coogler wouldn't do that to a big brother. That's what it seemed like. Their relationship was very big brother, little brother relationship. And I don't think Lupita knew. I don't think these excellent, like the epitome of just like great individuals that you admire, that you look up to, that you strive to be one day. I don't think they will put themselves in their positions of playing these actors, directing these films. I don't think they would be a part of it if it comes from a sense of monetizing trauma, monetizing trauma, exploiting trauma. I just want to see the best in them, man. That's really what I want. That's my thoughts on the matter. Let me pivot over to y'all and see what you're thinking, what you're talking about here. Black Panther 2, the character is not tied to the person. Keep in mind, T'Challa didn't die in Endgame. You don't have to kill the character. There is a point in time in the MCU in which T'Challa was not the king of Wakanda. He was no longer the Black Panther for 5 years. So narratively speaking, who was the king? Who was the Black Panther? I'm very intrigued to see that. Like I'm wondering, and again, is the mural addressing that? I do think, and I think I read somewhere that they will open the film with his funeral. Which, I mean, if you open a film, like I don't even know if I can watch the rest of the movie at that point, just from an emotional level. But I'm just narratively speaking, what's the answer narratively to that point of time that he was gone for 5 years, and what was the nation like? Were they being attacked consistently? Is this where Doom is like, wait, hold up, put my project, put that aside. Wakanda's not under protection. Vibranium's up for grabs. So I'm very intrigued to see that narrative. So I'm hoping again that mural, the shots of, you know, the Queen saying that I lost everything, that is her addressing the 5-year gap that T'Challa was gone. I don't think folks really felt the gravity of T'Challa because of how he was written in Black Panther 1, one of my favorite Marvel films, but quite anti-T'Challa and how it was written. I agree with you there. I watched the trailer twice. I cried twice, but not because it was moves, because I was depressed. Yeah, Rebecca, it's I'm telling y'all right now, man. going into that theater on November, and you know, by all accounts, hopefully, you know, I can see it maybe a little bit early with press access or whatnot, but neither nor there. It's gonna be it's gonna be tough, man, watching that movie. I don't think there's any movie, any show, any movie that I've ever seen in which that's going to be on my heart. It's going to be on my mind while watching it. I think the closest thing I could think of was probably Carrie Fisher, because I'm a big Star Wars fan, and obviously growing up seeing her as Princess Leia, and then obviously going into Rise of Skywalker. No, going into Last Jedi, and knowing that she wasn't going to be around or whatever. But that was, you know, it was hard. But this is on another level, because Chadwick, there's only been 3 times in my life, little personal story on me. There's only been 3 times in my life that I like cried for someone I've never met, in a sense of like a celebrity or whatnot. Aaliyah, Chadwick Boseman, and Kobe Bryant. Those are the only 3 people, and not saying that I'm like cold-hearted, that I don't get emotional or sad when other celebrities or people of influence and you know, people outside of the entertainment industry. Like, I'm not saying I'm not cold-hearted. I'm just saying, as far as like celebrities go, those are the only times I like physically cried when I heard that they passed away. So it's gonna be rough. I'm gonna be real here. I can handle the losing Chadwick, and I miss the talent, but to lose T'Challa and Chadwick is a big. That's something too. I've seen that theory out there. I've seen that comment out there. My only, and this is my only pushback with that idea. And again, you know, I support the idea of recast T'Challa. Narratively, you have to make it make sense. You can't just pluck a T'Challa out of a multiverse, because that T'Challa, he cares about his people just as much as our T'Challa would, right? He would care about his Wakanda, you know, Wakanda as a nation, his family, his, you know, his friends and all that stuff. So I just wouldn't want to see, oh, he's from another multiverse and he's going to be our T'Challa. I would narratively, which I know they would if they were to do that, narratively it has to make sense. I go back to, there are so many stories with T'Challa, and that's one of them. There's so many great talents out there. I mean, it's so wild though, because I bet you, and I would never I would never wish another actor to have something happen like this in them. But if it was another character that they were a fan of, again, a Spider-Man, a Superman, a Batman, another character that isn't T'Challa, that has such an impact like a T'Challa, I'm pretty sure they would feel be different. Like if we came out and said, and not like death, but if Tom Holland retired from Spider-Man 10 years from now, and he said, you know what, I did this role so good, I put my foot in this role so good, I don't want anyone to be Peter Parker ever again. And Kevin Feige's like, you know, Tom's right. We're never going to have another Peter Parker. Take it or leave it, folks. I'm pretty sure people will be pretty upset about that mural and some of the crying scenes, or the loss of T'Challa via the blip. But when you see Shuri crying, she's obviously been back now, and obviously, I mean, we know the synopsis is out there. They killed her. They killed them off. So, man, showing the mural was in bad taste. But like you said, it's business, and the level of money you can make when people do anything. I don't know, man. I would love to see that interview or that conversation with Nate Moore and Ryan. I would love to hear that. It's a trope at this point, Andrew. It's seriously a trope. I mean, I'm just, you know, there's no paper or notes or you know, anything I'm reading. It's just from my heart, man. It's just how I feel about the matter at hand, the situation. So, and I appreciate you all indulging me in this conversation, a conversation I think needs to be had, continues to need to be had. Again, shout out to E-Man from E-Man Movie Reviews with his petition, Recasting T'Challa, and he explains it. He is more articulate. He articulates it much better, more eloquently than I ever could. So shout out to E-Man. Check him out. He has a lot of information on it, on both sides of the matter, and in particularly on why we should recast the character. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to E-Man. A world in which Wakandas have the most advanced technology, medicines, this, that, and the third, can't heal him, fix him. In a world in which we have wizards, sorcerer supremes, you know, this, that, and the other, that the king of Wakanda passed away due to an illness. Again, separating fantasy from reality, you know, we obviously know he fought a strong battle against cancer, and we know he passed away. But in this world of fantasy with robots and wizards and Thanoses and snaps and rings and hammers and you name it, it's a fantasy world we live in the MCU. He passes away due to an illness. Make it make sense. Make it make sense is all I got to say. It takes you to, as you can see on the screen now, change.org/p/Marvel-recast. I mean, you don't have to type in all that stuff. Just type in change.org recast T'Challa. You can fill out the petition here. And there you see, there he is there. E-Man, he has a whole video about it, all that stuff. Very well said. Breaks it down like a math equation. He's doing some great stuff. So definitely check it out there. For any of you and all of you that tuned in today, it means a lot to me. You can see that I love talking Marvel. We talk DC, we talk Star Wars, we talk big movies, small movies, TV shows, and everything in between. And I love me some Marvel. Very excited. I don't want to end this on a somber note. Very excited for Phase 4 or the end of Phase 4, Phase 5, beginning of Phase 6, Kang, the whole Kang gang, all that stuff that we talked about. And I'm hopeful this movie will be good and have a good story and make me walk out of the theater differently than what I'm going to be walking into the theater. As far as my thoughts on the lack of recasting the character, I'm hopeful. I am hopeful. One can only be hopeful, right? All right. With that being said, last little comments here. Good vibes. Good job. Appreciating the channel and for supporting the channel and for being dope. So thank you all again. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do the whole thing. This week we got Only Murders in the Building review, I'm Not Okay review, plenty of conversations to be had about this topic and other things that we got from Marvel and DC this weekend, and so much more this week. So keep an eye out for all that content. Y'all be safe. Y'all be good. Team Ironheart. All right, guys. We'll catch you. Hopefully. Deuces.